Hey, welcome to a late night video. I'm not sure when you're going to be watching this, but it's kind of late, and I was thinking of some ideas or topics, and wanted to just take a moment and make a video. And I wanted to talk about the sunk cost fallacy. And if you're not familiar with that, I should have put the definition over here. Basically, it's normally an economic type term, and basically it's in economics and decision making, a sunk cost is a cost that has already been incurred and cannot be recovered. And you can follow me here because you probably see some parallels. Sunk costs are contrasted with prospective costs, which are future costs that may be avoided if action is taken. Now, I've always thought, well, let me back up. At work, we deal with this sometimes, and sometimes you just, when you're going down a rabbit hole, you have to say, okay, this isn't working. Yeah, we dumped a bunch of money into it, but you can't just throw good money after bad and hope for different results. So, one of the first things you have to do in a relationship, and I guess before I dump into that, let me just say, I think that sunk cost fallacy really also dovetails with toxic relationships. You get in a relationship, you put all this time and effort into it, and instead of trying to facilitate change or putting down boundaries or risking this investment, you tend to, what's the word I'm looking for? You tend to ignore your own boundaries and dig deeper and deeper into the hole, and just things don't get better, they just get progressively worse. So one of the first things you have to do is you have to step out of the rat race of chaos and give yourself time to breathe, time to think, time to reflect on what's going on. When you get into that point, then you can start to ask yourself questions. You can look at things a little differently and see if you to see if your perspective is real, to see if the illusion that you're focusing on matches the reality that you're living with. It's so easy to get caught up in this rat race of chaos, or cone of chaos as I sometimes call it, and rationalize why you're in that mode, rationalize what you're doing, and you're just perpetuating this scenario. Now, let me just be, brutally honest on this and crystal clear, because you can look at this. If you're not new to the channel, then you've seen other videos, so you know more of my story. But sometimes these things are really easy to say, but they're hard to put into practice. And what I mean by that is, if I take my own personal situation, my own personal marriage, my marriage blew apart at the seams at the 20-year mark. So that means that I was in the rat race of chaos. I wasn't giving myself time to breathe. And I was absolutely stuck on this sunk cost fallacy of all the effort and time and money and years, 2 decades of time, to where it just seemed, maybe something will change. Maybe things will get better. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the problem, and I'm so lucky that this beautiful butterfly, is sticking with me even though I'm a piece of crap. And that's the reality, is that's kind of how this whole thing played out, and that's how I felt. But when you start to give yourself time to breathe, and you start to give yourself time to think, now you can do that in a relationship, by the way, just to throw that out there. But obviously, when you go no contact or you get some physical separation, you can also do that. But you have to start to ask yourself the question, is this really what you want? Not the illusion of what you want, but really what you want. And then you have to gauge that with, okay, not the fantasy, but what do you want? I mean, for me, I wanted somebody who loved me, who demonstrated that they loved me. You know, not that it was just the word, I mean, that the actions and the words coupled together and actually made sense. And at the very basis, I just wanted peace. I was so tired of being tired. I was so tired of the chaos. I was so tired of the constant gaslighting and second guessing what was going on and what was real, the cognitive dissonance, everything. The thing is that when you start to put yourself first and you start to work towards creating your own peace and to eliminating chaos out of your life, that's when things really start to change. And it's tough. Again, 2 decades. You know, I mean, this wasn't got into a relationship, spent 6 months, said, oh crap, this was a mistake, and moved on. I mean, I got sucked into the vortex of chaos and I could not break free. You know, after a while, I started to recognize that I was stuck in this sunk cost fallacy, and that the relationship, but the investment of time, money, love, emotions into the relationship could be better spent elsewhere. And I think that's really the key, is that you have to really evaluate your life. I mean, I see a lot of comments lately with people, both men and women, struggling with breaking free from the person. They still love the person. They still love the illusion of what they think was real. And letting that go is scary. Letting that go and recognizing that that part is done and that you owe it to yourself to spend some time rebuilding your life is really important. And it's hard to face. Again, 2 decades. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to say that this stuff is easy. If it was easy, I wouldn't have been in it for 2 decades. I would have did something or made a different decision way sooner. But I was caught into this sunk cost fallacy, and I was also caught in the mode of, you know, this is the best that I can do. No one else will love me. I'm a damaged person and I'm a piece of crap, and you know, all those things that you can tell yourself that are reinforced by a toxic ex. You know, they may not come out completely and just tell you, you know, wow, you're a piece of crap, you're lucky you have me, but they can do things covertly and subversively, I think I'm saying that wrong, to instill that into you. Give yourself time to breathe and time to think, and really think about what you want in your life, and then start taking steps to get there. It's hard to do, but I'll tell you, the benefit you get from taking those steps and making those changes, you'll look back on it and it'll be the best decision you ever made. On that, I will catch you on the next video. Take care.